Welcome to the Season Initiative Podcast, Episode 3. Here we are doing our second part of covering Tzeentch, one of the four main gods of Chaos. And today we are going to talk about Tzeentch Demons. And here I am. Wow.
You're dying here. Somebody save him, throw him a rope.
I am your host, Matt Bailey, and this is my co-host, your boy, Evan Bulris.
Hey, how's it going?
And yeah, we're going to get right into it. Last episode, we talked about Thousand Suns and what they can do and how good they are, how good they can be, how what to buy, what to not buy, what is complete trash. We found out that a lot of characters in Thousand Suns, if all characters in Thousand Suns are really important for that army, and go buy them all. And then the Mulith Vortex Beast is just trash.
Throw them out.
I had a terrible experience with that model. If you just go back, if you want to hear about that, go back to the second episode and listen to the podcast. We are here and ready to talk about Tzeentch Demons. There are a few units that are specifically towards Tzeentch, and we're going to get right into it. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we go into it? I know that we're doing the tabletop simulator here, and
we're using tabletop simulator. We're using a bunch of different creators' creations. Creators' creation sounds kind of lame, but you know what? Maybe one point we'll do a how-to on tabletop simulator. I know there's a bunch out there already, but honestly, more of the same isn't really a bad thing for that kind of thing about how to play on TTS. There's a ton of good ones out there for Legion, how to play and get going on that. The Legion mod is more inclusive, where it kind of just does everything. You don't have to fish around for stuff. 40k mod, it really isn't that hard at all. You just got to find a mod that has your army sculpts. You kind of just make your army. You say save it, and then you go to a 40k table, and then you just load your army, and that's really it. Now it's the same thing like a real 40k, where there's a lot of like bookkeeping you have to kind of do on your end. But honestly, this is a really great way just to play, especially right now, right?
Yeah.
If you're hearing this, we're probably still in quarantine. We're recording this on the same day as our last one, so it's still when we say try by trash, we're using current known stats of units as of 3/29/2020. So things could change with even a FAQ update from Games Workshop,
but they're not
now
they're closed still.
Right. That's
April. They said that I heard that they're not doing in April. They usually do a big FAQ in April, but since they have no data to go off of.
Yeah.
Because Adepticon got canceled, all these GTs are getting canceled. These events, even locals, are getting canceled. So you don't have any data to go off of to make changes.
Yeah. So that's just like the reality. Legion Worlds got just canceled. Unknown if it will get rescheduled this year, or if the current champion gets to be champion for another year, like Freebie. He did it, boys. Free 2 years of championship. But so it's we might be streaming games. Probably will be streaming games of us just playing around in the mod coming soon. TM soon.tm of us playing, and I'm trying to play Tyranids, trying to learn those. I've got a Get Started in the Tyranid Warriors, and one of our friends, Brian Horton, who is a big influencer in the 13th Legion. He more or less runs keeps that going. He was giving me some advice on what to buy because I really didn't know, and we Bailey's not really a Tyranid player, right?
No, not at all. I don't. The only Xenos I've ever played are Tau and Eldar, but I've played Eldar I've owned 4 Eldar armies.
So
I own a Drukhari army right now, which I'm never gonna play, but it's there.
Yeah, that's so I don't want to get stuck in the I want to do the series with Matt because I've been in situations where I've bought in incorrectly and I've been a sad boy because I've had stuff I'm like, wow, this really isn't fun or good. So maybe we'll have different people on for different armies that we're not experienced with to help create the conversation and give advice.
Yeah,
for that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely, we could, because I don't like there's armies that I don't know much about, like Tyranids, for instance. So maybe we can have Brian on for that, because he's the main,
sure.
He's like the only Tyranid player in this area besides his buddy Jason that I can really think just plays, like, their main army is Tyranids. There are people
go ahead.
There are people that like are starting them, I think. There's one guy I think starting them. But when I think Tyranids and I think players around here, I think Brian. Like, Brian's the guy to go to. So
cool. Yeah, so I'll have to pick his brain a little bit more, because I don't know what I'm doing, and everything in the book looks good to me. Right? I don't know. I'm like, yeah, that looks great. All these stats seem good. What do I know?
Yeah.
But also to that point, when we say try, TTS is a great place to try that model.
Yep.
Before you physically buy it.
That's actually a good way to. Yeah, that's a better way than proxying right now, since you can't really interact with anybody.
Really do that, yeah.
Luckily, my best friend lives with me too. So
nice.
So if I can teach him the rules again, because he used to play 40k, he used to play Imperial Fists. When we both started 40k, actually, he started Imperial Fists and I started Chaos Space Marines. And maybe if I can get him to start playing again, I can actually like
just get some table time, right?
A game in. I just gotta get a mat. That's all that's left to me. That's all that's left. I'm gonna get my mat from the 5th Trooper here. They've got a ton of great mats that you can use for either 40k or Legion.
Really anything, yeah.
Yeah, really any tabletop game. They have those add-ons for Legion to make it a 3x6 instead of a 4x6, and it's great stuff. They look great too. They do look great.
It's funny because we used to make it with the bars built into the mat, and then people said, hey, we want to use these for other games besides Legion, and we were thinking, like, what? Not that we didn't not that we didn't want people to, we just didn't think that our mats would get outside the Legion crowd, right? We thought they were just going to be like a small Legion thing, so they kind of exploded a little bit faster than we thought they would. Yeah. And we actually have stock because we didn't go to Adepticon, so most of our mats are in stock. And we can ship them out, no problem. We're not considered essential, but we work from home, so that kind of there we go. Got them, keeping that quarantine up.
Yeah, there's a loophole and everything.
Yeah, dude, for real. Like, but yeah, so we're gonna go over the Chaos Demons today. Now, this is actually the first army box of stuff that I bought. I did start my first 40k army was Thousand Suns when I bought the 40k stuff for my Zeech Demons, but I bought the model we're looking at here, and then a couple get started. I think I have get started in a bunch of just pink demons that I bought. Kairos,
right?
Yes, yep, that's one. The Fate Weaver we're looking at currently. He's actually on my shelf in the back here, unpainted as he's been forever, for like 2 years.
Dude, you know what? I just got an airbrush. I can airbrush him.
Nice. Yeah, do it.
I should try that. I should buy like a. Well, I can't really buy anything much right now, but
yeah.
But because I'm trying to get rid of stuff, to make more room for other armies, I guess. But
I'll just drop them in a Lysol sealed box.
Oh my gosh, this is insane. Maybe I'll come by, like, leave it out on your porch.
Yeah.
I'll come by in my truck because I'm essential. So I can drive by. I'm up there every Thursday. So I literally go past your neighborhood like every Thursday.
That's so funny. Just like you stop by. Picking up one model on the doorstep that's covered in like sanitation wipes.
Dude, you can't find those anywhere. That, and I need since I'm getting into airbrushing, I need rubbing alcohol, and I can't find any of that anywhere.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Man, this is just like
it's insane. But
yeah.
So speaking like this quarantine, guys, just try to do your best. Try to get TTS is great. Tabletop Simulator is great. Discord's great. Talking with people. Just try to keep in touch with your friends. See how they're doing. See how they're
for real.
Talk to other people in groups. See what they're doing to get by in this gaming thing. Tabletop gaming is great. TTS is I'm more of a face-to-face person.
Oh, me too.
But Tabletop Simulator right now is great for this time of what we're going through. Also, like there's video games too. You can play Total War. You can,
Yeah, really to get in there. Yeah, I've got. We were talking about it before we started the second round here. I bought Doom Eternal and I bought Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
But because I've been working so much, I've installed Doom and I've fished like twice in Animal Crossing. I got my little town set up while I was on a conference call that like I just need to be on, but I didn't really need to like interact in.
Yeah.
And so I fished a couple times, but that's really all the time I've had because I'm so tired from all the work. Even though I get to sleep a little bit more because I don't have to drive. But like I'll start fishing, I'll just fall asleep with my Switch on. It's hopefully all this craziness comes down because I really do miss, like, honestly, Fridays is what I miss the most.
Yeah, man.
We used to get together at our local shop and Bailey here would come out, we'd play Legion, we'd play X-Wing, we'd play board games. Really, Friday was just like the whatever day. It's technically a Star Wars day, but it's just kind of whatever the group wanted to play.
Yeah.
And after we'd go across the street, there's like an Applebee's. And it's not amazing food, but it's like $4 beer and $3 appetizers. So
give me my chicken tendies. That's all.
Yeah, give me my chicken tendies, lady. Stat. But like those were always fun nights, man. Like I honestly, like Thursday'd come around, I'd be like, man, I can't wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then Friday'd come like, man, I can't wait till I get out of here, out of work, so I can go and just hang out and have a good time and interact with people. But honestly, like we've been trying to do Friday stuff on Discord and TTS, trying to organize games, but it's cool. That's how I keep up with my friends. But I agree, it's just not like the same, right?
It's not. No, it's not. But we're gonna really appreciate the time that we get with our friends afterwards, and that's like just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind, guys. Like, try to check on your close friends, see how they're doing. People still got to work. I still got to go out there and work, so I'm trying to not see. Yeah, I am trying not to see people as much as I want to see, like my family, my friends. Try to stay safe. Try to stay distant between people.
Yeah,
wash your hands.
Right, wash your paws.
Wash your paws.
I know everyone's probably sick of hearing it, but it's like, geez, like New York City's a nightmare right now, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then hopefully this will. I don't believe the claims of it going, being done by April. I don't. Then again, man, medical science is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But I think we just got to be acceptant that a long haul's coming. And you just got to find ways to occupy yourself when you're in the house. So we're trying to give you content, so you got something to do at least.
You're doing hobby stuff, man.
This is actually like, I love podcasts like this. I can just listen to while I'm building or painting or, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Like right now, I don't paint much. Like you can ask any of the locals here. Like, do I paint my stuff? Hardly. Like ever. Like I'll have to. Like I'll try to get a tabletop decently, but I'm trying to put some effort into, and I'm learning airbrushing into my AdMech because I have the time. So everybody should have golden demon armies by the time we're done with this quarantine. Right? That's what I'm saying. I won't. I
actually set up a little hobby station for myself now that I can do it if I when I get to it. But
yeah,
man.
It's crazy. We cleaned my basement last week, and I mean, I built a shelving unit with my friend, and we moved everything in totes now. That whole room where like all my Warhammer stuff now is like there's a totally big open space now that I can put a table in.
Nice.
Provided I get the okay from my wife, but because I don't want her to come
in the
down
basement.
to a surprise. Yeah, I know. It's the basement.
No one's gonna see it in the basement.
Yeah, no one will see it. It's all good. I got the terrain for it. So anyway, let's get into business. We're going to start talking about some Tzeentch demons. And first, we're going to talk about the main greater demon of Tzeentch, Kairos Fateweaver. Now, Kairos Fateweaver is a big model, just like the Lord of Change, which we'll talk about next after this one. So, Kairos Fateweaver is the great demon of Tzeentch. So Magnus is like the head for Thousand Suns and Tzeentch in general, really. Kairos for the demons, that's what he is. He's the main baddie. He's the main guy for them. So let's go over his stats. His movement is 12, so he doesn't move as fast as Magnus, but still pretty fast. He's a weapon skill 3, so in combat he hits on 3, so he's ballistic skill 2. Don't know why, because he doesn't have any shooting attacks. He's strength 6, up to 7, and 16 wounds with 5 attacks, leadership 10, and then a 6-up armor save. Just so you guys know, for demons, all demons come with a 5-up invul save. So if you don't get an armor save from weapons, then you get your invul save instead, unless it's a mortal wound, which we talked about last episode and explained what that was, in a way. So, but the cool thing about Kairos, he gets access to every single Tzeentch power in the Demon Codex. He gets access to all of them. Whereas Magnus and Ahriman, they only get 3 each. They get to know Smite and then 3 other powers from whatever disciple they choose. Because I think Ahriman can choose from 2 disciples, and then disciplines.
Yeah.
And then Magnus can choose from all 3. Kairos can only choose from 1, but he knows every single power from that.
Okay.
So that's actually pretty good. And if Kairos is your warlord, you receive a D3 extra command points.
Nice.
So that's actually not bad. It's not bad at all. He
has that other ability, right? Does he still, where he rolls a bunch of dice and you can use those in the game? Is that him?
Oh no, that's AOS.
Oh, okay. Oops.
That's Destiny dice.
Just kidding.
You're fine. Oh my gosh, if those were in 40k. Oh my gosh, that'd be so nice.
JK.
But you can use him in AOS. That's the nice thing about Tzeentch.
Actually, I think everything we talk about now, the models, if you don't like the 40k version, can be used in AOS, and if you buy them for AOS and don't like them there, it couldn't be used in 40k.
Absolutely, 100%. And then some models are really good. Some models are really good in AOS, like Flamers.
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of these models are really good in AOS, and then some of them are not great in 40k.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
Spoiler alert to content coming.
Talk about. Kairos can also cast 3 and deny 3 powers. And then, that's right. I believe he gets a bonus to his psychic test. Not his Deny the Witch, but his psychic test. So he gets a +2 to his cast value when he casts psychic powers, which we covered about last episode, because just like Thousand Suns, Tzeentch demons are a magic heavy army. And then so for big creatures like Magnus, like Lord of Change, like Kairos, when they get lower into wounds, some of their stats decrease, like their movement or their attacks or their bonus for their casting value. And that's the same. So that's what Kairos, all those stats right there that I just named off, they decrease. And so does Magnus, actually, his attacks, his movement, and his bonus to psychic tests when he gets more damaged.
Gotcha.
So you want to try to, it's hard to keep these big guys alive because they're such a big target.
Yeah, they're going to get shot, right?
Yeah, and they're going to get shot. But the only thing, so the nice thing about Kairos, he's only 250 points. So he's not bad for what you get out of him, because his staff tomorrow does D6 damage in combat. So that's actually not bad. That's a lot better than I thought. So I thought it was a set damage of like 2 or 3, like Magnus's. So
imagine rolling a 6 and just one-shotting a hero or something.
If you kill a hero, if you're not playing match play, because you need to have in match play, when you have you need to save points if you want to bring other units in. So Magnus, the Lord of Change, and Kairos all have a weapon. All their weapons do when they kill a character, they turn them into a spawn.
Oh, a chaos spawn?
Yeah, chaos spawn. So, nice. But you need the reinforcement points in order to do that. But if you're playing narrative play, like a whatever you want to bring list, really, and you bring Kairos and he kills a character, it turns it into a spawn at no charge.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's kind of funny. Really, I love Spawn. I love how goofy they look, and I own. I used to own 15 Spawn, and that was a bad choice. But now I own like 6, so that's a good healthy like little. I don't need any more than that. But Kairos, actually, looking at his stats, because I don't really look at Tzeentch demons a lot unless it's like the lesser demons or like the smaller HQs. He's actually not that bad. He's not terrible for what he costs. He's got all Tzeentch demons, they have something called ephemeral form.
Okay.
And they get a +1 to their invulnerable saves. So instead of having a 5-up like all other demons, they have a 4-up. So that's not bad. So a 50-50 shot instead of a 33% chance. Yeah, he's not bad. I would say, you know what, if you're doing Tzeentch demons, he's a buy.
Yeah, if you specifically want demons, because with that model kit, we're gonna show a couple other. I think there's one other way you can build them.
Yep, and then we're gonna get into that next, actually.
Yeah, do that. So he's like more or less. I think a good rule of thumb is the big leader of any group is pretty much a get, right?
Yeah.
Is that like for the most part, that's a safe bet if we haven't got to it yet? And you want an army?
Yeah, I can't think like off the top of my head. I can't think of like a big model. So like these guys, even he's okay. Oh, I would say maybe the Keeper of Secrets for Slaanesh because it's not great in 40k, but they're nasty in AOS. Oh my gosh. Because of the way they play, the way that AOS plays, the way that Slaanesh plays in AOS is really interesting. Like the more damage they take, the more points they get to summon. So it's that's what they're all about, though. They're all about pain, which we'll get into later, like with Slaanesh later down the series. Chaos in general. So when you get Kairos, I would say buy him. If you already have a Kairos and you want another big old monster on your board, you can buy another box set that has Kairos or this model right here called Lord of Change. He is the same amount of points as Kairos, but
oh really?
Yeah, he's 250, just like Kairos, but he doesn't do as much. He doesn't know all the powers. He can only connect. He can cast 2 and deny 2, which is nice. He's got +1 to his saving throw. So invulnerable saving throw, excuse me. So he's a 4-up invul. He hits on 2s. Kairos only hits on 3s in combat. His weapon does 3 damage instead of D6, so it's a flat 3. So you know it's a guaranteed 3.
Yeah.
As Kairos, you could roll a 1 or a 2 and feel real sad. And his attacks and movement go down. And he also gets does he really? He does. He does get a +2 to his casting throw. I did not know that.
Well,
I don't play them that much in 40k, but they're good in AOS, so I play them.
Yeah.
So I mean, I the model looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
I love the Lord of Change model. I have 2 of them, and I need a Kairos actually. That's what I should get. But so if you buy this kit, you can build either or, and I think either or is fine. Kairos is a little better. He's the same. They're the same amount of points, so I would build Kairos over Lord of Change. So, but for this kit, I think it's a buy. I do. I think it's if you're getting the demons, Tzeentch demons, it's even better. It's even better if you want like a whole Tzeentch army with Thousand Suns and Tzeentch demons because you can ally the 2 together.
Gotcha.
And just if you saw like Magnus, Kairos, and a Lord Change on the board across from you, you're like, huh.
What's going on, pal?
What do I do? I kind of want to try that sometime. I'm going to try that sometime.
I guess you just shoot and hope you get rid of one, because if you don't, it's probably going to be sad.
Yeah, it could definitely.
I guess. Just go for Magnus and hope for the best.
Yeah, because there's a power that lets Magnus move twice. Any Chaos Space Marine or anything with the Heretic Astartes keyword, it gets to move during the psychic phase. So with Magnus, you move 16 inches, then you move another 16 inches, and you gotta deal with him first.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 guys behind you are coming up behind you, kind of quick, hopefully. So that's actually not terrible. Build either or. If you want to get 2, that's even better. I for units, usually for any unit, Unless it's a special character like Magnus or like Mortarion, I always get two. I always get two of them. Just because I don't know what it is, but rule of thumb for me is always get two of those units. Like I don't like for rhinos, for instance, the transport. I don't like rolling just one.
Mhm.
I always run two because it's just a target.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say definitely you can get the kit, build either or, get two kits, build both of them, and I think you'll be fine either way.
Cool.
There's a lot more. So for Tzeentch demons, like so in the Demon Codex, there's a lot of choices in that codex because there's so much in there. But every god has a certain models you can use, certain models for that god. Like this is all Tzeentch stuff that we're gonna carry, that we're gonna talk about. So this is called, what's on the screen now is called a Changecaster, which is just a Herald of Tzeentch. His ability is pretty cool. He gives a +1 strength bubble to all Tzeentch demon units within 6 inches of him.
Okay.
And so it works. We'll talk about that later with the synergy that does for them. He can cast 1, deny 1 for powers. He's a cheap unit so if you want to run like a cheap battalion, run one of him or even 2 of them if you want, and go from there. He comes in the start collecting box. He comes in that box along with horrors, screamers, and flamers. Okay. I believe are all in that box, I think it's a great box set. And if you don't, like you said, if you don't like any of that for 40k, they're great in Age of Sigmar, which is great for demons. So if you ever want to play demons of any type, grab start collecting box set. And yeah, man, I had trouble with this last episode too, saying that. I don't know what it is, but start collecting box, great for any faction of demons if you want to play in 40k or OS. I highly recommend that you start off with that box and build off of that. A Changecaster. So there's 3 different versions of this Herald of Tzeentch. There's the Changecaster, which is on the screen now, and I'll remove this right now. And then we're going to put the Fluxmaster up. I think he's in an okay position.
Yeah, he's good. Let me give him a little spin here. A little, oh, there it is. Yep, whoop.
There you go.
Perfect.
Okay. So that is the Fluxmaster. So the only difference between him and the Changecaster is he's on a disc, as you can see. And it makes his movement faster. Granted, I don't think you need movement when a Herald of Tzeentch is near flamers. Or not flamers, I'm sorry, horrors. Because they're slower.
Okay.
I think movement is necessary though, just for like objectives. And like we said in the last episode, that this game is a game of inches. And I think a Changecaster is great. I just think all the Herald of Tzeentch, maybe not the Fate Skimmer, which we'll talk about next. It's a different model, which we'll pull up now actually. And this guy gets a cool chariot. So, and that is actually I like the model a lot, actually. It's a Herald of Tzeentch on a chariot, and he's the chariot is like 2 screamers that are pulling him, which is really cool. I have one unbuilt, I think, that I need to build eventually down in the basement, and then I have one that is built. And the only difference, the difference between all 3 of these, that the movement is greater. Okay. And since it's on a bigger base, all 3 of them I think are in different bases. The bigger the base, the bigger the aura.
Don't they get more attacks from the screamers too in melee?
The screamer. Okay, so yes, the disc does 1 attack. It's like a little bite that the disc has, and then the screamers for the chariot, they have I think 2 attacks each. So 4 attacks from the screamers, and if they target, I think they get something if they target like vehicles or something, they get more damage.
Cool.
And yeah.
They can latch on, right? That's their thing. If they bite something, they can.
It's the Lamprey's bite.
Yeah. it's like they bite in the tank and then they get some, I think, bonus damage, and they get to keep doing it if they don't move. I think. I agree. I'm just kind of like, I may be making this up. I know there's something for it.
Wait, no. Okay, so in AOS they get more attacks. They get better damage against like monsters.
Okay.
In this one, the Lamprey Bite from the 2 Screamers from the Fade Skimmer, it's 6 additional attacks at strength 6, AP -3, which is pretty good, and they do 2 damage each.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad. So the Heralds of Tzeentch, I believe all of them are like this. They can all, they all know Smite and then 2 powers from the Tzeentch discipline. So, but they can only cast one, deny one. But to know all those powers in case you need them at certain times, it's pretty good.
Cool.
I think either the Fluxmaster or the Changecaster is worth it. You can buy the Burning Chariot too, because it builds into the Burning Chariot or the Fate Skimmer. I have one of each, and I would get one just to own one. I think you do need a Changecaster though, for sure. So that Start Collecting box is definitely a must buy when you get into Demons of Tzeentch. And then we have 2 more HQs that we're going to talk about for Demons of Tzeentch. We'll talk about the funny one first.
All right, do it. Oh, our boys, yeah, we've had ravenous discussion about these blue scribes.
Yeah. So when we
oh no I'm goofing.
This whole TTS is so new to us. But
it's nice. Not to me. I'm just bad. There we go. All right, there we go.
So we're good. We're good now on the video. I hope you guys are getting a kick of this on the podcast.
Me just screaming like, no, God.
So the Blue Scribes, interesting enough, I believe they move pretty fast. I think they move 12 inches. When I was talking to Evan about the Blue Scribes in general, they're 86 points. So it's not like expensive.
Yeah.
It's a direct only model, so you have to order it from GW. Like, I don't know if we talked about this in the first episode, but most local gaming stores, if you play on their Warhammer Night, they'll give you a discount on Games Workshop models.
Yeah, that's
great. Like our
GW thing. Yeah,
that's a GW thing. Like our local gaming store does for us. So the thing about all these models that we've talked about so far, we can get at our local gaming store at a discount on their nights. The Blue Scribes, you have to do direct only, so you can't get that discount, unfortunately. I originally think that the Blue Scribes are trash. They're trash. I think 100% they're trash. Unless they're really good in AOS, I don't know why anybody would take them. But when we recorded this episode, the second time, I looked on GW's website and the Blue Scribes were out of stock, and I was just dumbfounded by that. So I thought it was kind of funny.
Is there something we don't know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The cool thing about them, they move 12 inches, so mobility. They have a 4-up invul save, just like all Tzeentch demons, and then they subtract 1 for enemy psychers for their psychic tests within 12 inches of them. And if they fail their psychic tests, the Blue Scribes steal that psychic power from them, and they can never use it again for the remainder of the game.
Like, that sounds strong. It's just how often does it happen?
I don't know. Like, I want to buy one and try it. And
I guess, you could say, so they could steal psychic power, so they could steal a smite, right?
Yes.
And then if they fail a smite, they can't smite anymore, and then they can smite.
I think it'd be funny to bring it against, like, Grey Knights. Because they have so much against demons, and if you just put, I don't know how you would get there fast enough, but if you could get there fast enough, if everything goes well for you, and you just put the Blue Scribes within 12 inches of all their psychic powers, somehow, some way, and he starts failing them, you just suck up all the psychic powers Because I don't think there's a limit to how many times you can do that.
No, I think it's just static.
No, it's just That's so funny.
So I think probably still trash, but there's gonna be one person out there, one girl who figures it out, right? Like just gets that how to use this thing and then positions it in a way, and then you're gonna roll and be like, well, it failed. Well, I get to roll again, and they go, nope, sorry, pal. I'll be taking that demon speed or whatever the spell is.
The warp time.
Warp time, and now this can cast warp time on guys.
So it says here he has another rule. Zyrat's Sorceress Barrage. Though not a Psyker, the Blue Scribes automatically manifest one randomly selected psychic power from the Tzeentch discipline and your psychic phase. In addition, if the Blue Scribes siphoned any psychic powers in the last enemy psychic phase, they will also automatically manifest the Smite psychic power. No psychic test is taken to use any of these powers, and they cannot be denied. Where the result of the psychic test matters, the psychic power is treated as having been manifested with the minimum roll possible and without rolling a double.
Huh.
Interesting. So they automatically get a power off without rolling for it. Maybe it's better than I thought originally. Okay, it's a try. I'll give it a try.
All right. Now that we did some more research. First time we're like, yeah, garbage. Second time, like, why are they sold out? And now we're like, okay, yeah, try it, I guess. It's, the model looks pretty good in TTS. Yeah, at least try it. I think it'd be interesting. I think when it works, it's going to feel real good. And if he dies, you're only out 80 points, so who cares?
And now we're going to talk about I think this is my favorite guy.
Changeling?
Yeah, I like the Changeling a lot. He's got a cool ability. He's like a Herald. I believe he gives out the +1 strength to other Tzeentch demons. I could be wrong. But he's a cool model. He's 100 points. Let's see. Does he give out the +1 strength? He does not, actually. But he gives out another cool aura. So we talked about last episode how certain units can have a shrug save. So he gives out, for Tzeentch demon models within 9 inches of the Changeling, loses a wound on a 6. The model is surrounded by a twisting aura of change and does not lose the wound. So you have another chance to make that save, but it's only on a 6. Nice.
But
but
it's
hey, why not take a reroll?
It's worth it. I mean, it's free, right? Like the ability's free, right? Yeah, like, so might as well try it.
Anything you get when you like buy a single model, you get all the abilities for free.
Gotcha.
So that's interesting. Also, when the Changeling fights, you choose an enemy infantry model within 1 inch of the Changeling. So it's kind of funny. So if a Changeling goes and fights like a Bloodthirster or Magnus or whoever, or Mortarion, what he does, he has that model's weapon skill, strength, toughness, and attacks characteristics until the end of the phase.
Oh no.
He changes. That's what the Changeling does. He changes into whatever he's fighting, essentially. And then the Trickster staff is his weapon when the Changeling fights. Choose a melee weapon carried by the enemy infantry. So it's an infantry model only. So it can't be Magnus or Mortarion, but it can be stuff like a Smash Captain, which is a guy in a Thunderhammer Storm Shield, and he's really good. He does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Or someone like even Guilliman, because Guilliman's infantry. And he takes that weapon from them and uses it as his own.
Oh, okay, that's real good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's very tricky. So I like the Changeling a lot. I think he's a buy for sure, especially with that aura.
Super cool model too.
Yeah, very, very nice model. And he's good in AOS.
Yeah, in AOS, you can set him up on the enemy side of the field, and he's treated as like a friendly for them until they get closer. So you can kind of like get a harassment ready, like you can zap behind enemy lines kind of thing.
Does he still do that? I know he does set up.
I know he sets up over there. I haven't. I don't know if he still does. Maybe unless like because I have that was the first. That was the last edition of AOS for this current one, so maybe I'm wrong again. But
he
that
does
was
set
cool
up
when he
on
did.
the other side. He does do like a teleportation before the game starts.
Oh, gotcha.
I know that for sure. But I don't know about the whole treats him as a friendly model. That'd be kind of funny though.
Yeah, it's like what they used to do with him anyway was they couldn't attack him unless they got real close. And it had to be like a captain or somebody else. It couldn't just be like a mook. So
Huh.
they had to. So you could just like be over there hanging out, and I'd just be like, no, I'm not doing anything with him yet. He like breaks the illusion when he attacks, so you just wait a turn or two, so he can come with like a clutch attack to be real obnoxious. So it's used to be a lot of fun in that.
Huh. Yeah.
I don't know
He's
what he
still
does
fun.
currently, but yeah.
He's still fun. So that is all the HQs for Demons of Zinch. Next, the next part's what we're gonna talk about. Zinch Demons only have like one of everything else left besides elites. They have one troop, they have one fast attack, one heavy support, and then they have two elites. So next we're gonna bring all three kinds over and we're gonna talk about the horrors of
Okay.
Zinch. I think I placed that right for once.
Yeah, I can. That looks pretty good. But we do a little movie magic here.
Little movie magic, yeah. So the basic troop for Demons of Zinch, what it is, it's
Whoa.
Evan's
Oh,
technical difficulties going on over here. You got it?
All right, there we go.
I'm glad we can have fun.
I'm glad we're having fun. All right, yeah, here you go. You're good.
So, the basic troop choice for Demons of Zinch is horrors. So they can be either pink horrors, blue horrors, or brimstone horrors. The lower you go, so it goes pinks to blues to brims. The lower you go, the cheaper they are. I believe it's 7 points for a pink horror of Zinch. I believe it's 5 for a blue horror, and then it's 3 for a brimstone horror. So cheap units to fill out those battalions that you guys will use for your army. So it's actually fairly cheap to run a unit of a battalion of Zinch demons if you want to get extra command points. So the cool thing about horrors, so pink horrors, blue horrors, and brimstone horrors, they all have their invul save goes lower each time they go down. So brims only have a 6-up invul, blues only have a 5-up, I think, and then pinks have a 4-up. If you save your points, like we talked about earlier, the reinforcement points. So pinks, when they die, they have the rule called split and then split again. And when a pink dies, it becomes 2 blues, and then when a blue dies, it becomes a brim. So you get more models for your unit essentially, and it's a hard if someone does that. Like I played against someone not too long ago that did that, and it was super hard to kill all of them. It just more bodies just keep on coming and coming.
Right, they're great units to put some points into to wrap, like we talked about last episode, bubble wrapping to put around your character to make sure he doesn't just get shot off the board. Because they just keep coming, right? Like you can't just one round them.
Yes. I mean, if you like shot your whole army at it, maybe.
But I mean, you're shooting your whole army into what, like 100 points?
Yeah, it's not that much now. It's like
not even,
it's for well, it's a lot of points to be perfectly honest because you have to save those reinforcement points.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of wounds. Like they can be up to 30 models. So that right there turns into 150 wounds that you have to get through before killing the unit.
Holy smokes.
Yep.
I mean, I think, and that's not even counting if you save a few, right?
Yep.
Like,
because then if you have the changeling nearby, you got a 6-up shrug against weapons as well. And they come up with a 4-up invul, so that's not bad at all. It's just kind of expensive because you need to. It's 7 points per model, so that's 210 points for 30, and then you gotta save. Let's see, 300 more points for. Right? Yeah, that sounds right. Because each blue horror is a 5 points, so You need to save 5 times 30, 150. Yeah, so yeah. So you need to save 300 more points. And then after that, another 180. So it's actually kind of expensive if you want to do that many. Granted, you don't have to do that many. If you do 20 of them, I think that's still 100 wounds.
Yeah. I mean, that's still insane. Like,
yeah, it's
holy
still
cow.
an insane amount of models that you have to cut through. But they're great. In AOS, you don't have to pay for those points. So they have the same rule. The only thing so pinks though, they have a shooting attack. And if they're above 20 models, they get +1 to their shots. Instead of being assault 2, which is 2 shots at 18 inches range, I believe, they get 3 shots. And the strength of their gun is based off the strength of what they are. So they're only strength 3, so it's not that strong. But with a herald nearby, they're strength 5. And then there's a psychic power that gives yourself +1 to wound, actually.
Okay. They can get up there if you want them to.
Yeah, they can do some damage. You're not like killing a knight or anything, but you can take out some light infantry just by the sheer number of shots.
Yeah. You're just looking for 6s, right? You're just hoping for high rolls.
You're just hoping for like good rolls. That's all you. I mean, for anything really, that's what you're hoping for. But
accuracy by volume of fire, right?
Yeah, just like droids.
Yep.
So that's the basic troop unit. And then all lesser demons of chaos, they get a banner, an icon. And so at the end of the turn, you usually take a morale phase for how many guys you lost. And then you have to do some math to do it. Say if my leadership is, I think my leadership for pink horrors are 7, maybe 8. And then I lost 10 guys. So then you have to roll a morale phase. So you take that 10, subtract your leadership, and then add that to a dice roll, which is only 1 dice. And then that's how many guys you lose. Yes, their leadership's 7. So if I lost 10 guys, and you roll a dice, say if you get a 4, that's 14. And then you subtract your leadership from that. So 7. So you're losing 7 guys. But if I have an icon and I roll a 1, they have a special rule called Reality Blinks. And instead of losing guys, they get D6 guys back.
Fantastic.
So in AOS, those Destiny dice that you mentioned earlier, you can use that 1 for that roll and get guys back.
Yes. Yes.
I believe that's how it works.
Yeah, I think it's like any roll, you can just sub in a die. Or that's what it was when I did it anyway.
It's not any roll anymore. They've changed a couple of them. I think they had the FAQ Destiny dice not too long ago in AOS.
Oh, it turns out when you can just pick what you want to roll, it's too good? No way.
Well, you only get 9 chances.
Oh, wow. Still, I'm shook.
And I think there's a psychic power in that book that you can get a Destiny dice back. You just roll a dice and that's what you get. And you add it to your Destiny pool.
I'm in, baby. Cashed it.
Cashed it for AOS. We're talking about 40K though. But I think they're a must buy for Demon.
Oh, for sure. They're just like so hard to get rid of.
Yeah. Surprisingly tough. Like I used to run, I think I ran 25 of them in my massive horde list for chaos. I ran 25 of them and they just survived. No one thinks about dealing with them, but then all my characters are right behind them and they have to deal with them. And they're kind of survivable. So they're not bad unit at all. They're pretty good. I would definitely buy these. Definitely buy these units for demons of chaos, just in general.
Yeah.
So next we're gonna get into the elites, and that is the Flamer of Tzeentch and the Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch. I'm doing moving magic, as Evan says.
Whoa. All right. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah,
Just
we had
play
fun
Benny
here.
Hill music. Play
Yeah,
Benny Music Hill. Why? That's actually. Let me give him a little turn here. All right,
okay,
those actually look fine. Looks good there.
excellent. So Flamers is ancient, Exalted Flamers is ancient. So I know in AOS they're nuts. They are nuts in AOS. I own so many Flamers because I bought a Zinch Demon lot from. Actually, we talked about him earlier, Brian,
Yeah.
and I own like 21 Flamers or something like that.
Holy cow! Good golly, Miss Molly. I remember I own actually quite a few of them too because they're like 3 in a box and they were like $20 or something, $25. So I used to buy them because they're the cheapest thing. They're the only thing I could afford
Yeah,
when I was buying them. So I just have a bunch of flamers, and I remember playing them in 40k. And I thought so how the flamers work in 40k, right? You roll how many times you hit.
yep.
You don't even roll to hit. It's just I hit this many times, so I'm going to roll to wound. I'm
Mhm.
like, wow, that's great. I don't have to roll to hit. I just get hits.
Yeah.
But turns out they're okay. I
They're
think.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with that. You saying that they're okay.
yeah,
The nice thing about them is that there's a stratagem in Demons of Chaos that you spend. I think it depends on what your power level is. So if your power level is like over 8, which you'll see as you increase the unit or keep the unit the same size. I think a power level unit for 3 flamers are 4, and then if you
okay,
increase it to 6 or however many, I think if you increase it by 1. So from 4 to 6, it becomes power level 8, and then from 7 to 9, they become power level 12. You spend a command point for anything that's underneath power level 8. You can deep strike in, so they can come in more than 9 inches away from your opponent. So if they're over 8 though, you spend 2 command points to do it. So it's not that bad.
okay.
But then you have a squad of 9 of them coming down. A squad of 9 of them is 180 points, which isn't that bad. And usually most flamers only 8 inches, so they try to stop you from doing the whole deep strike flamers and get those auto hits for free.
Yeah,
But Zinch demons, they don't have flamers as their weapons. They actually have pistols as their weapons, but they automatically hit their D6 auto hit,
nice.
and they're AP -1. And if you have a herald near them, they'll be +1 strength, so they'll be strength 5, and they do 1 damage each. So, but with a psychic power that gives you +1 to wound, there's some synergy there. Granted, you're not taking out a knight, but
Yeah,
you can definitely take out something heavy. Even with the -1, it's still okay.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. You're just rolling a ton of dice.
yeah, it's volume by fire. Um, so, and the next unit is the Exalted Flamer, which is it's a one guy, it's a character, so he can't be targeted actually. If he's behind other units. He moves 10 inches. I think the other flamers actually move 10 inches as well. If I'm not mistaken, they move 12 actually. So they're pretty fast. So maybe you don't even really need to deep strike them. But the Exalted Flamer moves 10 inches. Ballistic skill 3. It has the same flamer that we talked about a second ago,
Okay.
but he's base strength 5. So, and his is -2 actually. So it's D6 shots -2 AP, strength 5. If you have a Herald near him, strength 6. Or a heavy 3 version that hits on 3s. It's AP -4.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and it does D3 damage. The only thing is that the range is 18, so it's not that much like better. If it was range was like 24, maybe even 30, it'd be 10 times better.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think the Exalted Flamer is a try for sure.
Okay.
I don't think it's a must buy. Same with
Yeah,
Flamers, but you get them in the start collecting box. If you buy the start collecting box, just buy one and then go get more pinks and blues and brims.
yeah, yeah.
Speaking of the horrors, actually, the pinks come in the start collecting box. The blues and brims do not. The
Okay.
blues and brims come in a separate box kit.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Um, so
I
you'll have
remember
to
I had to buy
buy.
that separately like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll have to buy that separately. So the next unit that we're going to talk about, we're going to go into their fast attack units, and I really like these models. They're really cool. We're going to talk about the Screamers of Zinch.
Yeah, they were perfect a second ago. Move back. Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. Okay.
I'm not the movie guy.
I'm not the movie guy.
Whatever.
Whatever.
The one time I change it.
Fine. Yeah,
The
it's good. Perfect.
Streamers is each. They come in the Start Collecting box, so you'll get them when you buy that box. Oh, you know what? Does a Chariot come in that box too?
Yeah, you get a Exalted Flamer on a Chariot, or a um one of the super pink demons. I don't know the names, unfortunately, for them.
The Herald.
Yeah, that's it.
So you get the Herald, the Flamers,
you get Herald, the Chariot that you could put either the Exalted Flamer or the Herald on, and then the one you don't do, you can put them walking.
Yeah.
And then you get blues and some screamers. I mean blues, sorry, pinks and some screamers.
Oh, do you not get Flamers on it?
You do. I'm sorry, I think you do. Yeah.
So you get like literally everything. So okay. So the Start Collecting box is definitely 100%. I mean, it was beforehand. It's even more now. I forgot that Chariot comes in there, and which we'll touch on in a second. But right now, these guys are Screamers of Tzeentch. Nothing really special about them. They move really fast. Actually, they move 16 inches, which is nothing to sneeze at. And then they have something called Slashing Attack.
Okay.
Is when they move over a unit. You can choose one of the enemy units you moved over and roll a d6 for each Screamer in this unit. On a roll of a 6, it does a mortal wound to that enemy. It's a nice like late game objective grabber because they move so fast and they're not bad in combat. They hit on 4s, but their strength is 6, their AP 3, and they do 2 damage each. So during this like Marine meta, no Marines are really gonna fire at them.
Yeah.
Unless they get super close. But if you don't, I think they can assault you turn 2 with how fast they move.
Yeah.
So a unit of 9 of them coming at you, I think they can kill some Primaris Marines pretty handily, especially with the -3. You just gotta hit well. That's pretty much what it comes down to because you're hitting on 4s and then you're wounded on 3s.
Yeah, sure.
But it can kill at least, I would say. Well, how many attacks do they have? They probably have like 2 or 3 attacks. So 3 attacks. I'd say you could kill a squad of. You could probably kill a squad of 10 intercessors, which is actually that's a pretty good trade.
Yeah, sure.
And in all honesty, the Scream, they're a try. I would say. I don't think you need any more than the 9. If you want to get max unit of each unit that we're going to talk about, that's fine. I think that's all you really need. For it, and the Start Collecting box giving you everything that you'll need. You honestly, you could just buy 3 of those boxes, and then if you want to buy Kairos and a lore change, you're like set. All you need, so you in a sense, all you need to do for Tzeentch Demons is buy 3 of the box sets, 2 of the lore changes, which sounds like a lot, but then you just buy some blues and brims, and you're set.
Yeah, you pretty much got everything you have
to think about.
You pretty much have everything that's available to you anyway, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, but it's also a nice deal. Like, nice to get.
Yeah. It is. I think it's like talking about it out loud, and I'm like, is this real? Is
this real life?
Yeah. And the Screamers just look really cool as well. I really like the models. I own 9 of them myself. And they're painted and whatnot. So they're a nice model to have. I like them a lot. I like the look of the model. I'm gonna try them out. Like looking at all this stuff now, it really makes me want to try all these models out again. See if they're any good. But I don't want to be disappointed.
I don't want to. I've already been hurt before.
Yeah, I've already been hurt by the Mutalith Vortex Beast. I don't want to be hurt again.
Before the great vortexing.
Yeah. So we got one more unit to talk about. We're going to talk about the Burning Chariot of Tzeentch. So there's a build. You get this in the Start Collecting box. Go figure. And it's only 100 points, which is pretty good. There's two ways to build them. You can build them like the Fate Skimmer, which we talked about earlier, that Herald of Tzeentch on a chariot. Or you can put an Exalted Flamer on it, which we talked about his weapons earlier as well. So he moves 14 inches, so it's faster than the regular Exalted Flamer. And he's got the Lamprey Bite, which we talked about earlier. The 6 extra attacks at -3, 2 damage each. It moves really fast, and it has a Flamer on top of it that shoots. So that changes. It makes a 32-inch start range with that massive Flamer shot. The strength 9, heavy 3, AP 4, D3 damage each. So it's not bad. Like having 3 of those on the table would be kind of fun, actually, to be perfectly honest.
You can flank pretty hard, right? You've got a lot of speed on your hands.
It's a lot of speed. Yeah, if you have 3 of those next to each other, it'd be really. It wouldn't, competitive wise, it wouldn't be really that good. But I don't think they're a unit that will, like, if you play, oh, I got this sweet unit, it looks really cool. I don't think it will, like, get one shot off the board.
Yeah.
And you'll be really disappointed from that. I think you'll be fine. Overall, that Start Collecting box set, the more we talk about like all these units in the game, is the more that is value.
Yeah, sure.
Honestly, like when the stores open back up, we're lucky enough to have a curbside pickup thing happening right now, which is great. But what we so maybe I'll grab a box. Like
get some more demons.
Yeah, like you can never have too much of one thing, right? Well, that's not true. In 40K,
sure can.
Yeah, sure can. That's not true. Overall, like Tzeentch demons are okay. They're okay. They're not winning major events. Like demons in general are not winning major events. Hopefully, when the new Psychic Awakening book, Engine War, comes out, they get some nice, cool rules for all their demon factions. So hopefully, but that won't be coming. It's supposed to come out next month, but I don't know if that'll be coming out anymore because of the GW being closed.
That's fair. Maybe they'll release it digitally.
I don't know if they're doing. I heard that they're not doing any pre-orders or anything like that until this summer after GW opens back up, and like because I believe the UK is closed, right? Like
I think they're on hard lockdown.
Yeah. So and that's like one of their biggest things there.
It is their biggest export, I believe.
Is it really? Wow. Yeah. So that's insane. That's the biggest export, and then all of us nerds are suffering so bad. But guys, like, we'll be fine in the long run.
Yeah. There's plenty of stuff to use.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff to do. There's plenty of stuff. Well, there's not a ton of stuff to do.
Plenty of stuff to use currently. Yes. Right, to test and play and theory craft.
Yes, absolutely. So Demons of Tzeentch and Thousand Suns. I definitely recommend getting some Demons of Tzeentch with your Thousand Suns.
I mean, it looks like it's hard to go wrong here, right? Like anything you buy probably is okay.
Just don't buy that Mutalith Vortex piece.
Whatever you do not buy that Mutalith Vortex piece.
For this. So that's, I guess, that and the Enlightened units. Everything else seem pretty okay. Like they're not bad at all. I would definitely say, and it'd be such a cool army to see if you saw Magnus, Kairos, and then a Lord Change on the board. Oh man, I remember actually there was a display board at Nova. I think the first time I went.
Yeah.
The guy was running Magnus and I think a Lord of Change, and he had a really cool display board.
Yeah, it was LED'd up if I remember.
Yes, because that was the guy I took classes with.
Nice.
At Nova last year. Cool. And he had everything, even Magnus LED'd.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. So I don't play 40K competitively yet, or at the time I surely didn't. but I like to walk around, see, because people put in a lot of cool work into their 40K stuff. Like one guy had these metal these curved metal poles that held drop pods in the air, and they all had LEDs like they were coming in through the Atmos. And I'm like, dude, that's
insane.
That's amazing. Like that's so cool. So like that's what led me into like wanting to get in, is all this cool stuff people did. But yeah, I remember that Magnus actually specifically as well.
Yeah. He's a good guy. I think his name is Joe. I think his last name might be Johnson.
The JJ.
Really nice, JJ. No, probably don't call him that. I don't think he would like that. But he's a nice guy. His class was a very good class, actually. It was very eye opening to what you can do with all these models. I'm using it on my display board. So that'll be a good start. I LED'd up my my plasma cannon turrets, like those giant ones that I bought from Death Ray Designs.
Okay, yeah.
And those are looking good so far. And I got my airbrush now, so I can work on some hobby stuff since we're all stuck.
Yeah, I've got just a pile of models I need to build, some train I need to build. Like I gotta get backlog of droids I need to paint and get rid of that. Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I'm glad that we went over Tzeentch first. It's the one I know probably the most about, but I learned some stuff going over everything, and after reading it again, seeing that a lot of the stuff is definitely worth the buy. The army looks really nice, and I believe that since Tzeentch is like the god of change and whatnot, you could paint them however you want. I know they're called pink horrors and blue horrors, and you can just paint them whatever color you want, really, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, as long as people know what they are, it's fine, right?
Yeah. And most of my units in my army for my 1,000 Suns, they're all different colors because I believe like the change. So both my Lord changes are different colors. Like I have one purple and one blue one. So I highly recommend. Like I'm biased. I will say I'm biased definitely towards this army. I recommend buying into this army hard, just to get all aspects of the game in, like building. Even competitively, they're not bad. They're not like top tier. What we went over, not top tier exactly, because you need to do some like allying with other factions, like 1,000 Suns and Chaos Space Marines and all that kind of stuff. But all in all, love this army. Most units, like we talked about, are definitely a buy. Some are a try, and that Mulith Vortex Beast is still trash. But
I think that's a good ending point for that.
Yeah, I think it's a good end point.
Most everything is worth trying in this faction, except that Vortex Beast. He can wait for a while.
Great model. Don't get me wrong. Great model. Just don't buy it. All right, guys. Well, this wraps up our Tzeentch part of our Chaos series, and everyone stay safe, wash your hands, build your models, paint your models. Everyone have a great night.
Everyone, stay rad.
This has been a Fifth Trooper production.